Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is my presentation is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the last class, we have derived the vorticity equations and also the equation for stream function, and also we have shown that how one can derive the pressure equation. That means if someone wants to calculate the pressure distribution inside a flow domain, how one can utilize the calculated value of stream function and vorticity inside the flow domain. And that is, I mean, by calculating the stream function and vorticity, one can obtain the pressure distribution inside the flow domain. That means one essentially has to solve this pressure equation, that is grad square P equal to 2 rho del 2 psi by del x2 del 2 psi by del y2 minus del 2 psi del x del y whole square. So this equation we have derived from the first principle, and also we have shown that how one can utilize this equation in calculating the pressure distribution in the flow domain. Also, we have discussed some creeping flow situation. So what will be the corresponding equation for the creeping flow, and how one can apply the boundary conditions. That means the boundary conditions for the stream function and vorticity. So the boundary condition at the rigid wall and maybe stationary or non-sloping wall. And also we have shown that one can essentially obtain the equation boundary condition, that is boundary condition for moving wall, that is vorticity boundary condition. And I have asked you people to obtain this expression similar way, by following the way that we have obtained the expression for vorticity for a rigid wall. The expression of vorticity for a rigid wall we have obtained by expanding stream function in a Taylor series form, and we have obtained this expression. Accordingly, I have asked you to obtain this expression. Hope you have done in your home. Today, we will solve one example problem. That means that if you have a simple flow domain, how one can apply the stream function and vorticity method in obtaining the flow and basically the stream function distribution and ultimately velocity distribution inside the flow domain, two-dimensional flow domain, by numerical finite difference approach. Before going into the details of the example problem, let me give you the glimpse of the numerical algorithm, that is the solution algorithm that should be used while solving a flow problem by stream function and vorticity method. What is the solution algorithm? Solution algorithm means what are the steps you need to follow while obtaining the numerical solutions for the stream function and vorticity. And finally, once we have the stream function and vorticity, how one can calculate the velocity, that is the x directional and y directional velocity, since stream function and vorticity methodology is primarily applicable for two-dimensional problem only. That's why this two-dimensional velocity u and v, how one can calculate from the solution, numerical solutions of the stream function and vorticity. To start with, if you can see, this is a transient algorithm. That means stream function equation is basically a transient or we can call it convection diffusion equation with a transient term. So since the equation is a transient equation, one must have the initial condition and the boundary conditions. So one should have the combinations of initial conditions and the boundary conditions. That means, so if we go back and see how our stream function equation or vorticity equation is, we can see the vorticity equation something like this is the vorticity equation. This is the vorticity equation. One can see the vorticity equation contains a transient term, or you can call temporal term, and this convection term, and this is a diffusion term. This is basically a convection diffusion equation. So how one can uh, one can uh, one can adopt this transient methodology, or one can adopt, because if you want to solve this equation, you should have the initial condition, because this equation is dependent on time, which is time dependent equation, and also the boundary conditions, which is basically boundary condition at x and at y. So if we have, we should have two boundary conditions, this is second order equation, and in x and in y, and also one initial condition. So this is a transient condition. That means this is a transient equation. That means we should have a time marching algorithm. That means the equation is, this solution is time marching. That means we are marching with the time. If we have a transient equation, and if you want to solve the equation numerically, that algorithm we call time marching algorithm, and that already we have discussed in the class. What is time marching and how we can say that how one can march with the time. We can, this is called the time marching algorithm to obtain the velocity field. So what are the steps? Step number 1, specify the initial. So we need to have what are the initial conditions for vorticity and stream function at time t equal to 0. So these are the initial condition one must have for this time marching sequential algorithm. Step number 1, we should provide the initial conditions for vorticity and stream function at time t equal to 0. Step number 2, now from time t equal to 0, we are marching with the time. Okay, we are marching with the time. Let us say we are marching with the time with an increment in time step is delta t. That means at time t equal to 0, we have initial boundary, initial condition. Now at time t equal to t plus delta t, that means we are incrementing the time by delta t. That these things already you know. So we are incrementing the time t parallel delta t. So then the next step will be, with an increment of time delta t, you need to solve the vorticity transport equation for vorticity, that is your zeta. So we need to solve this vorticity.
এইখানটায় রিপিট করবেন, মানে এই যে একটু আমার নেটওয়ার্ক এরার হচ্ছিল, এই জিটার পার্টটা।
Okay.
the zeta part, can you please?
Okay. So initial condition you must have, you already know what is initial condition. Now step number 2,
Yes.
that means you have a vorticity equation. So that vorticity equation you need to solve temporarily, because it is time marching algorithm. So you have to march with the time. Okay, you have to march with the time. Now if you march with the time, that means at time t plus delta t, you need to solve this vorticity time transport equation. Okay.
Yes.
That is the step number 2. Once you have obtained the solution of vorticity, then with the solution of vorticity, then you go to next step number 3. There you solve the stream function equation psi to obtain the stream function, because you know step number 2, what is the stream function equation? This is your stream function equation, this is your stream function equation, this is your stream function equation. To step number 2, you have solved this vorticity transport equation. Step number 3, once you have obtained the vorticity transport equation, once you have obtained the solution of vorticity from this vorticity transport equation, with this obtained value of vorticity, you solve this stream function equation, grad square psi equal to minus zeta. The zeta is known, stream function is unknown. with the known values of zeta, you can solve this grad square psi equal to minus zeta to obtain the value of stream function. That is the step number 3. Okay, so step number 3. Now, once you have obtained the step number 3, then you move on to calculate the velocity components. That is U, which is the ultimate objective of the stream function.
Del psi del y
method.
is equal to
U equal to del psi del y and V equal to minus del psi del y. Simple finite difference method. So del psi del y equal to psi I plus 1 minus psi I plus 1j minus psi I minus 1j by delta y equal to Uij, or Vij equal to minus psi I plus 1j minus psi I minus 1j by twice delta x. This is Vij. And Uij equal to psi ij plus 1 minus psi ij minus 1 by twice delta y. So with this finite difference method, because already you know value of psi, so from this psi you can calculate the velocity components. Once you have obtained the solution of the velocity components, then you have to update the wall vorticity using vorticity equation at the wall. That means you have to update the wall vorticity. Why? Because you know vorticity, how you have calculated at the wall, you have calculated at the wall is like this, right? So updating wall vorticity means your vorticity boundary condition at the wall is like this. Updating the wall vorticity means in the first time step, that is first time iteration, you have obtained the value of psi. So with the obtained value of psi, you have to again calculate what is the boundary value of zeta with the obtained value of psi from the first time step. That means the updatation of this vorticity condition. Understood? Yes or no? Have you understood? What do you mean by updatation of vorticity boundary condition? Update the wall vorticity using vorticity equation at the wall. Have you understood?
Sir, can you again re-explain this? Wall vorticity condition.
Okay, so wall vorticity condition. Okay, I'm re-explaining, and maybe I will ask someone of you to explain me again. So you know, let me explain it to Prank. Maybe you have solved this this equation, that is del zeta del dt d zeta dt equal to some function into grad square zeta, some say mu by rho. So you have this equation you have solved, right? After solving this equation, step number 2, you are solving the equation grad square psi equal to minus zeta. So you have solved this equation. Now,
grad square psi is equal to
okay. Now what is the next step? Next step is equal to you are calculating the velocity components U and V from the obtained value of psi. With the psi value, you can calculate velocity components. Once you have obtained the velocity components U and V from this of the obtained value of psi, then you need to update the wall vorticity, because in the wall there is no particular boundary condition for vorticity. At the wall, what is the boundary condition of vorticity? You have obtained the vorticity boundary condition from the Taylor series approximation. This is the vorticity condition for the wall. Okay, so psi I. So what I can write here, that psi I at wall equal to minus some psi 1, say psi at s minus psi s plus 1 plus delta y square, right? So psi at the wall initially is not known, right? So psi is calculated from the vorticity transport equation at time t plus delta, because it's transit equation. So at time t equal to 0, you have a particular boundary, you have a value of psi, and zeta at time t equal to 0. At time t equal to t1, at time equal to t plus delta t, then what you have done, you have solved the vorticity condition and again solve the stream function condition. But the vorticity at a wall is not fixed. It is a function of psi. At time t equal to 0, you have a particular value of psi and zeta. But what will be the value of psi and zeta at time t equal to del t plus delta t? For that you have to solve this equation and this equation, right?
Time.
Right? Right?
Uh,
No. Have you understood or not?
So that means for each time step, we need to
টাইমের
calculate.
Any one of you. I'm not able to hear you for anyone. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, Shivnath.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
that means for each time step, we need to calculate the vorticity and stream function.
Each time step you have to calculate what is the stream function because you are marching with the time. Since you
Yes,
are
sir.
marching with the time, so once you are calculating vorticity and stream function with each and every time step, so then at the same time your wall boundary condition has to be updated because at wall this vorticity is also a function of stream functions which are not known at time t plus delta t. Then again you have to update the wall vorticity boundary condition zeta I, right?
আচ্ছা 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 আচ্ছা
Right.
আচ্ছা
Right.
yes yes
Right, at time t equal to 0, you have solved, initially you have some boundary condition of zeta and you have value of psi and zeta. But at time t plus delta t, you have solved this vorticity and stream function equation. Once you have solved vorticity function equation, type t plus delta t, you have another value of zeta. So zeta will be say zeta 1, psi will be say psi 1. Then at boundary, again you have to put or you have to obtain the value of zeta at boundary by putting the value of psi at the boundary that is newly obtained of psi at the boundary. Understood?
আচ্ছা okay
No. Understood or not? Say this is the wall boundary condition that is minus zeta s psi s minus psi s plus 1. Okay, psi s plus 1 by delta y square. So let us say this is the wall boundary condition at a wall. Okay. Now at time t equal to 0, you have psi equal to psi, say psi equal to psi and zeta equal to zeta. And with that you have calculated the value at wall, right? This is okay. Now at time t plus delta t, time t equal to t plus delta t, you have solved vorticity and stream function equation. Then your psi will be psi 2 and zeta will be zeta 2, say. Right. That means your psi and zeta are changed. So if your psi and zeta are changed, that means your zeta at the wall will be also changed. Again, zeta at the wall you have to calculate. With psi s at 2 minus psi s plus 1 at 2 by delta y square.
yes
Is that make sense? That's why I have written that you need to update the wall boundary condition with the obtained value of psi and zeta after the time step t plus delta t. Okay. Once you have obtained, then you have to check the convergence whether your steady state has been reached or not. Right? Steady state has been reached or not with consecutive 2 time steps. Understood? What do you mean by steady state? Yes or no?
yes time invariant
Yes. So your steady state has been reached or not. If a steady state has been reached, that means you can stop the iteration, or again you have to go back to step 2 and again you have to move on with the steps 2, 3, 4, 5. Again you have to check whether whether you have reached steady state or not, or either if yes you exit from the iteration step, if no you have to continue these iteration steps. Clear the algorithm?
মানে যদি মানে if after step 6 if it is transient then you have to move to step 2.
Yes, if steady state is not reached, that means your steady state, which is the primary objective, whether that is the error value between 2 time steps are minimum or not. If it is minimum or if it is less than epsilon, then you can stop the iterations. If it's not, you have to continue the iteration steps. Similar way from the step number 2 onwards.
Yes.
Okay. Is that clear? Okay. Fine. Now let us solve a sample problem, example problem that I have given here. How one can employ the stream function vorticity method in solving this two-dimensional flow problem in a two-dimensional domain. Okay. So what is the problem about? It is a Newtonian incompressible viscous fluid. The fluid is Newtonian, incompressible, and viscous. Is flowing in a channel. So this is the channel. Can you see the channel? Can you see the channel?
Newtonian,
Can anyone read it? Read the question for me.
yes sir, I can.
Maybe Shivnath? Yes.
Yes sir, I can.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So will I start?
Yes, please start.
Yeah, a Newtonian incompressible viscous fluid enters a channel of height 2h and length L with uniform velocity u. Far downstream, the velocity profile is fully developed, parabolic. Formulate the problem by stream function vorticity method. Assume the flow is steady and laminar. Show the solution algorithm in the form of flowchart.
So everybody understood the problem?
Yes, sir. That means the problem is not time marching problem. As the
Problem is
flow is
not time
steady.
much. Yes, flow is steady. Problem is not time matching problem.
Yes.
And flow is fully developed. So I think you must have known already. You have studied in your fluid mechanics 1 class. What do you mean by fully developed flow?
Mm-hmm.
So that means a parabolic velocity profile. So at the exit is a parabolic velocity profile. At inlet is your uniform flow. That means velocity is uniform. Velocity is equal. U equal to capital U. There is no V component of velocity. So there is no vertical component of velocity. Since the fluid is uniform flow. This thing already you know. And length of the channel is L, capital L. And the height of the channel is twice h. Okay. So given this problem, you need to, so what is asked, Shivnath? What is asked? You need to formulate the problem, right? You need to formulate the problem by stream function vorticity method, and you have to show the algorithm in the form of a flow chart. Is it clear to everybody? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to everybody?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay. Now, so to formulate the problem, what you need to do first? Shravan? To formulate the problem, what you need to do first? Shravan, can you ask this question?
We need to means formulate solve we need to find psi and xi at t is equal to 0.
No. What is the step number 1? Step number 1 is you need to find the governing equations, right?
Yes, governing equation.
So what are the governing equations here? Your stream function
And
vorticity equations, right? So governing equation 1 is your stream function equation, and governing equation 2 is your vorticity equation. So stream function equation I have written here, that is del 2 psi by del x2 plus del 2 psi by del y2 equal to minus zeta, and vorticity equation is del zeta del t plus u del zeta del x plus v del zeta del y equal to nu del 2 zeta del x2 plus del 2 zeta del y2. Okay, is that clear? Clear? Okay, so whom to ask? Yes, Moinak. Moinak, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Moinak. So can you please tell me, is there anything wrong in these governing equations? Moina,
No, sir.
can you tell me, is there anything wrong in these governing equations, stream function and vorticity? Anything wrong I have written?
No.
Huh?
No, sir.
These equations are correct?
It seems to be.
Yes. Sure. Okay. Who is there? Who is there? Moinak says that it is correct. Okay. Shonok. Shonok, are you there?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Anything wrong in these equations?
Sir, I go to the toilet, so I didn't hear this part.
I am asking, is there anything wrong in these governing equations?
Sir, I said you, I go to the toilet.
So, okay, so in the class you are going to toilet, right?
Sir, I didn't hear this part.
Okay. That is great actually. Okay, anybody can answer this question? Anything wrong in this club? In this equation?
Sir, the Laplace equation of stream function will be equals to 0.
Equal to 0, huh?
Why?
Sir, as the flow is not rotational flow, so we can assume that as
Flow is
the stream
fully
function equals to
developed
0.
and what 2D and flow is irrotational.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything written in the flow rotational or irrotational?
Onara viscous fluid.
No, sir.
No. Wait a minute. Moinak, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by rotational flow and irrotational flow?
The vorticity is 0 or not. If the vorticity is non-zero, then it is rotational.
Okay, so in the stream function and vorticity method, whether this method is for irrotational flow or rotational flow, what do you think?
In this
What do you
case, sir.
think? Huh?
So this in this case,
This is inviscid or viscous?
so this is viscous.
It is in viscous flow, right? It is
Incompressible viscous fluid.
Yes.
It is viscous.
Yes,
It is mentioned there.
It is incompressible and viscous fluid. But in this case, the problem what we are discussing, anything is written whether this problem is for incompressible and this inviscid fluid.
So it is incompressible viscous fluid.
Okay, so the fluid is incompressible and viscous fluid. Then if the fluid is incompressible and viscous fluid, then whether this Laplacian will be 0 or not.
Sir, del 2 psi del x2 should be 0 because
Why?
psi is only a function of y. Because v
No,
equal
no.
to 0.
Fluid is coming uniform velocity. So uniform velocity fluid may come into the domain, but after entering into the domain, velocity component at the vertical direction may be possible.
Okay.
Okay, so uniform flow velocity at the inlet is possible, but after entering into the domain, fluid may have a vertical component of the velocity. That is also possible.
Sir, also
So
in the vorticity equation, the del zeta del theta should be 0 as the flow is steady.
Yes. That is the answer actually I was expecting from you people. That is the answer I was expecting from you people. So the
actually,
fluid is
I
steady.
thought it first.
Sorry?
Sir, please continue.
Yes.
So
Yes,
we
according
could
to
have put it
No.
0.
No, that is the answer actually I was expecting from you people. That this del zero del t term, it should be 0 in this case because the fluid is steady flow, right? Fluid is steady. This term should be 0. This term should be 0. Fluid is steady, so this term should be 0. So if the fluid is steady, so this term is 0. That means why we are retaining this term? Can anybody answer this question? Flow is steady, but in the stream function vorticity equation, anyway, stream function equation will be there because the flow is not inviscid flow. Stream function vorticity will be always there. But in the vorticity equation, why we have retained del zero del t term? Can anybody answer this question? Why you have written del zero del t term in the vorticity? Answer the question. Vorticity equation.
The flow takes time to reach the steady state, sir.
So
But
what is that called?
initially
the
the
channel,
flow is transient. Then
initially, before becoming a fully developed flow, after it enters a channel, it takes some time to reach that fully developed flow. That for that time, del t is there.
That is fine.
Sir,
that can be also
there is
thought of in that way.
yes, sir. Sir, there is some hydrodynamic length after which the flow becomes fully developed.
That is called actually entrance length. Entrance length we are not talking about. So we are considering the flow to be fully developed, but we are not actually interested in finding out the entrance length. We are interested in finding out the solution of the problem. To obtain the solution of the problem,
So for
we have
following the
detailed
algorithm, for following the algorithm.
Yes, for following the algorithm. So what is that? What is that called? Why you are keeping this del zero del t term? I have already discussed in the class. In the maybe 2-3 class back, I have discussed. There is one special algorithm. You could also solve this problem without retaining del zero del t term. You could also solve this problem.
Oh, the false transient method.
Very good, very good. That is called false transient method. Here actually we are retaining this term del zero del t to employ the false transient method. Okay, because false transient method we need to employ. If you don't employ the del zero del t term, you could also solve these equations. But in that case, you may face divergence in the solution because these convection terms, this u del zero del x, I have not written in the slide, but you should remember, or you can take a note of it. This u del zero del x plus v del zero del y without having the term del zero del t, if you can solve directly this problem, then what will happen? You may get divergence in the solution. A solution may be unstable. So it is better to add a transient term del zero del t and solve this problem in a transient manner. That is we call false transient method. That is, we are solving this problem as if the problem is steady problem, but we are unsteady problem. We are solving the unsteady problem by considering the problem to be unsteady, and finally we are obtaining a steady state by continuously iterating these equations to steady state by incrementing the data. That is, with each and every time we are incrementing with t plus delta t, and we are obtaining a steady state, and we are solving this problem in a false transient manner called false transient method to ease our numerical difficulties that we may face if we don't consider del zero del t term. Is that clear to everybody? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, just go to my class notes, so you'll find that what is false transient method. I have already discussed in the class. Okay, so that's why we have kept this del zero del t term. That is very important consideration in stream function vorticity method. If you want to write your own code, or if you want to write a problem, solve a problem, so it is better to keep del zero del t term for the steady state problem also. Now again, the problem is axisymmetric, right? The problem is axisymmetric, fully developed and axisymmetric. Yes.
Yes, sir. But
So,
sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Sir, since the problem is axis symmetry, do we use the conditions that like we did in temperature that
Yeah, similar
Yes.
condition. Exactly similar condition.
Dividing.
Exactly similar condition.
that d side dx and d side dy at
Uh,
L equal to h is equal to 0.
But here actually you have to use, because since zeta and psi are basically derived variable, so you can apply accessibility condition in terms of velocity. That is du del u del y is equal to 0, because in perpendicular direction, then del v del x is equal to 0, or maybe the accessibility boundary condition. But here you see xi and zeta, so you have to treat the accessibility condition in a special way that I will discuss.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So since this axisymmetry problem, so you can take half of the domain. So let us see what are the boundary conditions for the axisymmetric problem. So at the inlet, you have a uniform velocity profile, that is small u equal to capital U. Okay. So so these are the things. So how it is coming, I will explain in the later slides. So here you can see, so your I loop, so you have a I and J loops. So I is starting from I equal to 1 to m, I equal to 1 to m, and j equal to 1 to n. J equal to 1 to n. So at this wall, there is an axisymmetric wall. You can see BC, at the wall is BC. So what you have to do, you have to specify psi equal to 0. There is a reference streamline value, psi equal to 0. Please remember this. For axisymmetric problem, in streamline vorticity method, at the line of symmetry, where you have to apply psi equal to 0. This is the method that we have to apply. And similarly, if psi equal to 0, your vorticity will be automatically 0. This is the primary approach for the axisymmetry problem. So psi equal to 0, you have to provide this reference streamline value at psi equal to 0 at the plane of symmetry, and accordingly you have to apply zeta equal to 0 at the plane of symmetry. Is that understood to everybody?
Yes.
So
in this case, the wall is
no. A wall, I will come later on wall. So let us see. This is our wall, and this is your axisymmetry, plane of symmetry. Okay, this is your symmetry plane. So since this is a symmetry plane, at the plane of symmetry, so what you have to apply, stream function, you have to provide a reference stream function value, psi equal to psi reference. Psi equal to psi reference. If we put psi equal to psi reference, so here I have given psi equal to psi reference as 0, and zeta will be automatically 0. I will come to that, how zeta is coming to be 0 here. So why psi equal to psi reference I have given a plane of symmetry? Because so at the symmetry plane, so one streamline will pass, right? Your streamline will pass, right? One streamline will pass at the plane of symmetry. So at the next, so say suppose at a distance delta y from this streamline delta y, so you have another streamline which will also pass here, right? So let us say this is psi equal to psi 1, streamline 1 at the symmetry plane, and next to the symmetry plane, which is at a distance delta y from the streamline at the symmetry plane, so let us equal to psi 2. So what is psi 1 minus psi 2? What is psi 1 minus psi 2?
Q discharge.
Yes, that means the differences between stream function at two consecutive streamlines.
Yes.
Exactly, your discharge. That means you're maintaining the distance constant, right? So that is the primary idea of putting psi equal to psi reference at a symmetry plane. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So because at this plane your stream function is passing, and this plane also your stream function is passing, you have to maintain a discharge constant. You have to maintain, if you want to maintain a discharge constant, that means you have to put a psi value as a reference value. So here in general, for the stream function vorticity method, at the symmetry plane, you have to provide value of psi as a 0 or some reference value. Okay. So I will discuss how these conditions are coming at inlet. This is the inlet wall. So inlet plane, rather we say inlet plane AB. This is your outlet plane DC. I loop starting from I equal to 1 to m. J loop starting from J equal to 1 to N. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and fluid is flowing in this direction. So what you need to do, you need to discretize this in domain in certain number of finite difference grids. There are finite difference cells. Let us say this is delta y. So at y direction, this is delta x and the x direction. There is an increment in x and increment in y. So we have discretized the domain along the x and y direction respectively. So let us discuss how these boundary conditions are coming. Let us consider at the initial condition already you know. So at initial condition, you have to provide a t equal to 0, psi equal to 0, and zeta equal to 0. This is the initial condition. So please remember that until and unless you are provided with some initial condition for save the problem for solving any computational fluid dynamics problem, at the initially you have to provide all the values to be 0. You have to set all the values to be 0 value. Okay, this is the initial condition. This is a very important condition. You will remember that. You will learn that during your during while solving primitive variable approach with velocity boundary conditions. But here you can see in the streamline vorticity boundary condition also, at the initial condition you have to provide all the variables, that is either whether it is stream function or whether it is vorticity. You have to apply these boundary conditions to be a 0 value. Okay, at t equal to 0. This is the initial condition. Now let us see velocity boundary condition. So, sorry, vorticity boundary condition. So how we have to provide the vorticity boundary condition? So at inlet at x equal to 0. So this is the inlet plane at x equal to 0. This is the inlet plane. Your x is starting from this point B, which is going in this direction. So at inlet at x equal to 0. At inlet, what is that? Your velocity is e equal to u, because inlet you have provided with a uniform velocity e equal to u, e equal to capital U. That means at inlet e equal to capital U and v equal to 0, because at inlet you don't have any vertical velocity available. You have only horizontal velocity, which is pointing toward the x direction. So that means that inlet e equal to capital U. Since at inlet you have u equal to capital U and v equal to 0, that means you can write what is the vorticity boundary condition? Zeta equal to del v del x minus del u del y, right? So v equal to 0, u equal to also constant, is not a function of x, so it will be automatically 0. That's why at inlet you are having a vorticity boundary condition zeta equal to 0. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now at outlet, that means at x equal to L, that is at outlet. At outlet, that means at outlet means at the distance L from the inlet. This is the outlet plane, which is plane CD. At outlet, you are providing del zeta del x equal to 0. Okay, that means at the because this is a fully developed boundary condition, because flow is fully developed. Flow is fully developed. Flow is fully developed. That means you so fully developed boundary condition is provided by del zeta del x equal to 0 and del psi del x equal to 0. This is the boundary condition for the fully developed flow. When the flow is fully developed, so you have to provide the boundary condition del psi del x equal to 0 and del zeta del x equal to 0. This is the boundary condition for the fully developed flow. Is that clear? At the outlet. Is that clear?
না এখানটা একটু এক্সপ্লেন করুন স্যার
Okay. How it is coming, right? So at outlet, suppose this is an outlet. Fully developed flow means suppose this is a outlet. This is a point number 1, and this is a point number 2. Fully developed flow. This is the outlet plane. This is the outlet plane.
Outlet plane.
That means there will be no change in stream function on vorticity with x if the flow is fully developed. So stream function here and stream function here will be same. Vorticity here and vorticity here will also be same. That means the flow is fully developed. That means velocity here and velocity here will be same. This velocity here and this velocity here will be same. Okay. That means since this is your x direction. That means your psi, suppose psi at 2 is psi 2, psi at 1 is
Right.
psi 1. So these are same basically. That means del psi del x and
Well,
along
so
this
two is where? Oh, two. Okay.
at point 2 and this at point 1 at outlet plane. So psi 2 minus psi 1 by delta x, let us say. So psi 2 psi 1 are 0. Are
Zero.
same. Are same. So this
The
will be
difference
0.
zero.
This will be 0. Okay. Is that clear?
Okay.
That means this is an outlet plane. At the outlet plane, all the variables are same. It is a fully developed flow. So this is the outlet plane. Suppose this is a plane. This is the outlet plane. All the variables here and variables next to that are all the same. That means flow is fully developed. If this is so, that means your gradient along x direction will be 0, right? Del psi del x equal to 0 and del zeta equal to 0. Clear? Because here same psi 1 equal to psi 2, psi 1 equal to psi 2, and zeta 1 equal to zeta 2. So both are equal. That means your gradient along x direction will also be 0. Right? So gradient x direction means so del psi 1 psi 2 means similarly del psi del x equal to psi 2 minus psi 1 by delta x. So psi 2 and psi 1 are equal. That means it is 0. Similarly, zeta will also be 0. Zeta 2 minus zeta 1 by delta x. Zeta 1 and zeta 2 are same. Zeta 2 and zeta 2 are same. So it will be del zeta del x also 0.
Del zeta del x to 0.
Clear now? Okay. At central line, that means the symmetry plane. Symmetry plane is basically the plane of symmetry is defined as del u del y equal to 0 and v equal to 0. This is called the plane of symmetry. Why? Plane of symmetry, this is a symmetry plane means plane of symmetry, let us say that plane of symmetry is, this is a plane of symmetry. This is a plane of symmetry. Why? What we have written here? That v equal to 0 and del u del y equal to 0. This is the symmetry boundary condition. That means velocity, there is no vertical velocity, which represents the plane of symmetry. At the plane of symmetry, there is no vertical velocity and there is no component of u velocity along the y direction. Okay. There is no gradient of u direction velocity along the y direction. It represents the plane of symmetry. Clear? Suppose you have in a channel. Suppose you have a channel. Suppose there are two fluids. Fluid number 1. Suppose there are two fluids flowing. This is fluid number 1 and this is fluid number 2. And these fluids are immiscible fluids, not mixing with each other. Viscosities are different. At the plane of symmetry, or you can say this is called free slip boundary condition. Your vorticity velocity is 0. That is, there is no mixing. If there is a mixing, then there will be velocity. Fluid velocity, from this fluid, fluid will come here, and from this fluid will go here. There will be continuous mixing. So there is no mixing. That is, this vertical velocity is 0. There is no vertical direction of velocity, and also the x direction component, gradient of x direction component, is a gradient is also 0. That is u here. Suppose u equal to u1 and u equal to u2. So that means this gradient del u del y, basically here this u are equal u1 and u equal to u2, both are same. That is u1 equal to u2 here. There is no gradient along the vertical direction of u velocity. There may be a gradient along the x direction. That is del u del x is not 0. Del u del x is not 0, but del u del y is 0, because this is something you call the symmetry boundary condition. Something you can consider, you can think of a situation. There are two fluids which are not mixing with each other, and the layer between the two fluids or interface between the two fluids can be thought of as a symmetry boundary condition. Is that clear? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
very straightforward actually. I think you should learn this concept because concepts are very much useful. These are not may not be available in your textbook, but you'll be knowing like while browsing to the CFD books. So some concepts are available. So this is a center line. So this is a symmetry boundary condition. If the symmetry boundary condition is there, the zeta will be del v del x minus del u del y. So v is 0 and del u del y is automatically 0. If symmetry boundary condition, ultimately zeta is equal to 0. That's why I have given here zeta equal to 0 at the plane of symmetry. Now we have understood how zeta equal to 0 is coming at the plane of symmetry. Okay. Okay. Now at the wall at y equal to h, at the wall y equal to h, already I have derived this expression. How it is coming? Already you know. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Already we have derived this expression at the wall how it is coming. So at the wall boundary condition of zeta is written here in minus in minus 1 by delta y whole square. So this already I have derived in the class. In the last class I have derived.
So one question.
Yes.
So in the symmetry line, why psi is equal? You have given the condition in the figure that psi is equal to 0.
I have discussed, right? This is a reference
It's
value.
a reference value. Yes, sir.
Reference value. You can put psi equal to 1 also. That is also fine. You can put psi equal to 10 also. It will not make any difference.
Okay, sir.
Okay. But it is customary to give psi equal to 0. So then your calculation computation effort will be less. But anyway, if you want to put psi equal to 10, that is also fine. Reference value. Any value you can put. Any real number value you can put.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now stream function vorticity boundary condition is over now. I have discussed vorticity boundary condition. Let us see stream function boundary condition. At the inlet, only you have U equal to capital U and V equal to 0 uniform flow. So if E equal to capital U, that is U. What do I mean by U? E equal to minus V equal to 0 means your minus del psi del x equal to 0. V equal to basically minus del psi del x. This psi equal to constant and inlet psi equal to constant. But you have a variation in psi, which is coming from the expression of the U velocity. But at inlet, U equal to capital U is uniform velocity. What do you mean by U? E equal to del psi del y, right? E equal to del psi del y. That is equal to del psi del y equal to capital U. This psi equal to Uy plus constant. So you are simply integrating this equation. Now at y equal to 0, psi equal to 0. At y equal to 0, your psi equal to 0. Reference value, your psi equal to 0. Okay. Right? Understood or no?
Yes, sir. As the psi value is assumed as 0 at the center line. Okay.
So then psi equal to Uy. The constant value will be 0. Right. So you just put the value of y equal to 0 at psi equal to 0. So you can obtain the value of constant to be 0. That means that inlet psi equal to Uy. Fine. That inlet psi equal to Uy. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Outlet already I have discussed how del psi del x equal to 0 is coming. Center line also I have also discussed. At wall y equal to h. So at stream function vorticity value at wall, this is the wall, top wall. Already you know that already derived in the class. But what will be the stream function value at y equal to h? It will be UH, right? At y equal to h, put the value of y. Substitute y by h because this height is h. Sorry, this should be h. This is not 2sh. Because the whole length is 2sh. This should be h. So at wall, what is the boundary condition for psi? Inlet is equal to y uy. So at y, you just what is the value of psi at y equal to h? This is basically the wall. That is UH. Clear?
Yes, sir.
You simply substitute y by h, then you just there is uh. So already you know. Now these are the boundary conditions that already we have obtained for this typical problem we are discussing. For the interior grid points, that's psi equal to ij, the grid point which is inside to the domain, that's psi equal to ij, any arbitrary grid point. What I have done here, so you have two equations, one is stream function equation and another vorticity equation. So what you have to do, you have to discretize these two equations. So here I have employed pure implicit scheme, finite difference spaces. Pure implicit already you know. Simply psi I plus 1 jp plus 1 minus 2 psi I jp plus 1 plus psi I minus 1 jp plus 1 by delta x square plus psi ij plus 1 p plus 1 minus 2 psi I jp plus 1 plus psi ij minus 1 p plus 1 by delta y square equal to minus psi ij p plus 1. Okay, this is already you know. And for vorticity equation, psi ij p plus 1 minus psi ij p by delta t, temporal term I am discretizing, plus u equal to del psi del y. So I am writing u as a del psi del y. Is psi ij plus 1 p plus 1 minus psi ij minus 1 p plus 1 by 2 delta y u. And this term psi I plus 1 j p plus 1 minus psi I minus 1 j p plus 1 by 2 delta x minus psi I plus 1 j p plus 1. So v equal to minus del psi del x. V equal to minus del psi del x. So minus psi I plus 1 j p plus 1 minus psi I minus 1 j p plus 1 by 2 delta x into del zeta del y psi ij plus 1 p plus 1 minus psi ij minus 1 p plus 1 by 2 delta y equal to nu and corresponding finite difference expression for this term. So I plus 1 j p plus 1 minus 2 psi I j p plus 1 plus psi I minus 1 j p plus 1 by delta x square plus psi I j plus 1 p plus 1 minus 2 psi I j p plus 1 plus psi I j minus 1 p plus 1 by delta y square. That means actually I have discretized these two equations. Equation number 1 stream function equation, equation number 2 vorticity equation by pure implicit finite difference scheme. Is there any difficulties in understanding in this slide?
No, sir.
So straightforward. So now once you have obtained this stream function and vorticity with the boundary conditions, now at any point, interior grid point, you can obtain the velocity values. Psi ij already I have discussed. Uij equal to psi ij plus 1 minus psi ij minus 1 by 2 delta y. Then because u equal to del psi del y, and v basically minus del psi del x. So vij equal to minus psi I plus 1 j minus psi I minus j 1 j by 2 delta x. These are the two velocity values we can obtain once we obtain the stream function from the calculation of from the numerical solution of stream function and vorticity equations. So one may take a special care at exit and center line. So at the exit and center line, how velocity values have to be obtained. So similarly, by maneuvering the boundary conditions, it is also straightforward. And if you can write your own code, you can easily able to obtain the velocity values and stream function values at the center line, also at the exit of the plane. Now the flow chart. So flow chart, can anyone read it for me? Can anyone read it? Whom to ask? Who has not spoken? Attendance is very, very less now. Yes. Subhajit? Are you there?
So today we'll give the video.
Sir, actually, our another class is had to start. I mean, from 5 o'clock, sir.
Oh.
না ওটা 6 o'clock হয়েছে ওটা দাদা 6 o'clock it is been scheduled.
Okay.
Acha.
Fluid machinery.
Fluid machinery class from 6 o'clock, right? 6 p.m.
Yes.
So okay, so I will ask Subhajit to read it for me, this flow chart, and explain. Subhajit,
Yes, sir.
Start, Subhajit.
Start and then read data.
So what do you mean by read data? Devnath, what do you mean by read data?
Whether it is viscous flow or irrotational or rotational.
No, that is fine. Deep, what do you mean by read data?
And Till initial conditions.
Right. Some inlet, some input parameters. Okay. Next,
Then t equals to del t.
how do you mean by T del T?
So the increment of time.
Yes, yes, yes. Next,
Next, psi equals ij p plus 1 equals to psi ij p. Sir,
that means in this time step we are basically we are solving the implicitly. So we are basically setting all the values at the present time step, which is p plus 1. Okay. Then what we are doing?
then solve this d zeta dt nu grad square zeta.
What is this equation?
Sir,
What is the equation?
what is it equation?
Okay, okay. Then
Then solve steam function equation.
okay, good.
Then mod of psi ij p plus 1 nu minus mod psi ij p plus old is less than psi check করতে হবে.
What do you mean by that? Can anybody answer this question? Shorodip, what do you mean by that?
So we are checking the convergence, that after the consecutive 2 time steps, whether the stream function and the vorticity are the same, almost same or not.
Exactly. Very good. Then what we are doing next? Sujit?
Next answer steady state reach check করতে হবে স্যার. Or update wall vorticity.
No. Then okay, you just stop, Subhajit. Now I will ask someone else. Kushal, are you there? Kushal? Okay, maybe some network connectivity. Whom to ask? Or no? You just start from where Subhajit left.
Sir, in this red parallelogram, we are checking if the solutions are converging. If the solution does not converge, we will update the wall vorticity, then solve the stream function equation and vorticity equation again.
Very good.
And if the solutions are converging, then we see if the steady state is reached. If the steady state does not reach, we increment the time step.
Okay, good.
And update the psi values of p plus 1. Then
very good.
Then we go through the process again of solving the equation. Then and then if the steady state is reached, we calculate u and v and print the results.
Very good. Now if I can give you some problem of stream function vorticity, can you write a code now? Because algorithm is known. Is it possible?
Yes, sir, more or less.
Very good. Okay, so this is the last slide of today's class. Now I will ask because Deep Chatterjee, he has already solved the assignment problem. He has written his own code and he has solved the problem. Now I will ask Deep Chatterjee to display his results. Deep, are you ready with your presentation? One slide presentation?
Sir, yes, sir.
Also, let me stop my presentation. Deep, you should start. You should open your results.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that your friends can see, and also we can discuss something on that. I have stopped the presentation. Deep, you can start presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, I need to get me this. অনেক বারবিটাকে বোধহয় একটু
You just give in a full screen mode so that everybody can see and visualize your results. Oh, no, bottom, yeah. Okay. So Deep, you can start presenting your results. No,
Sir,
no,
is it visible?
it is visible to me at least, and I don't know what about others.
This is for 0.01 and this is 0.3. This is 2, byte number 2. After that 7, and then last is 100.
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah,
Everybody can see.
0.01 হ্যাঁ 0.01 আচ্ছা এটা কিভাবে ও আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বুঝতে পেরেছি।
Now, can you appreciate the results scientifically? No, Deep, I think you should give again the full screen mode. You just go to the bottom, right hand side bottom. Right hand side bottom. Can you see one cup type thing? Just bottom, yeah, cup type thing. No, not that one, Before that, yeah, yes. Yeah, full screen, yeah. Can you appreciate from these results, like what exactly physically we can see? See, at byte number less than 0.01, that means your conduction dominated flow. Your conduction, you can neglect the convection. Your primary domination is conduction, right? Conduction inside the domain you can neglect. Similarly, that's why you can see the whole domain, only one temperature is prevailing. There is hardly any gradient in temperature inside the this nuclear fuel rod, right? Gradient is very less, temperature gradients. Now, if we can increase, when you start increasing the byte number, see, there are gradient is now prevailing inside the domain. Can you see? See, byte number 0.3, now again increase byte number 0.1. So, byte number 2, see down, you can just appreciate the results, how it is changing with byte number.
আচ্ছা
It's changing. That means physically also we are capturing the exact physical phenomena. What is happening when we change the byte number in any flow? Also, that means through these CFD computations we can capture the physical phenomena. Byte number 100, you can see heavy temperature gradient inside the domain, high temperature gradient. But whereas byte number 0.01, you can neglect the temperature gradient. Conduction, you can consider lump body. So temperature gradient due to conduction, you can neglect inside the domain when byte number is very low. Okay. Anybody has any question? Oyon, you have not spoken a word. What happened?
2022.
Yes, sir.
Have you understood?
Yes, sir, more or less.
Okay.
Sir, I have also done part of that assignment, that L-shaped, which is about symmetry. Could you check the results, please?
You can present it if you want. You can present it. That is also nice that you people have started working on your CFD code. Or not, you can present if you want. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Which language you have used? Which language you have used?
This was done in MATLAB, sir.
Very good. MATLAB you have done, right?
So Simulink, in Simulink we can do it.
No. You have to write your own code. Simulink you cannot do it.
Yes,
But
sir.
it is coming. But okay. But
The,
it is not. It is
sir,
coming,
the
but it's
gradient
not.
is it's done in MATLAB, so that's why the gradient is.
No. So it is, although it is done in MATLAB, but you have to plot the results in TechPlot, because you will see how Deep have presented the results.
Yes, sir.
So you have to follow that type of presentation only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can write your code in MATLAB. You can generate the data file, and data file you can read it in TechPlot. You can generate the post-processing results. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I also did the same, but I got some problem. So if I present the screen, I think the problem will be solved much better. So
problem is in terms of in the writing code.
No, sir. Actually, to extract that data file, I got some problem. And if I show you, I think
You can show it to everybody because all your friends are present. You can discuss.
Is my screen visible to all of you? So actually what happened, sir, I got the data for all the interior points, and as you can see, these all interior points, and when I plotted this data in MATLAB itself.
No, don't use MATLAB. Don't use MATLAB. It will be very difficult. Don't use MATLAB. And increase number of grid points. NX10 and NX10Y will not work. That will be 100 by 100.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So can you repeat his mistake?
Data file, number of data file. You can. It is coming. Something it is coming. That is also nice to see. But only thing actually you need to plot it in take plot because results are not okay. What is the value of BAT number here? What is the value of BAT number here?
So actually, the BAT number is not introduced yet. Actually, I only calculated the value of the interior points. So not yet done.
Understood. No. Without introducing the BAT number, you will not get a solution. There will be some problem with the solution.
So actually, in MATLAB, what happened when I plot from this side to this side, my whole diagram is inverted, I think.
No. I can